What's up, guys? So today we're going to be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Clayface, the McFarlane one. I really hate this. I hate this guy. I know it's based on the Rebirth look, I think, but the color's off. He has like no articulation, and I hate this head sculpt. It's just not pleasant to look at, which I guess that's Clayface as a whole, but I wanted to kind of make some changes. I want to get rid of all these spikes. I want a more smooth look and all the skulls and the hands and stuff out of him. And also, I started working on a more Batman the Animated Series head sculpt. This one I painted it a base coat of that brown and painted the inside red. But overall, I'm going to completely repaint this guy in that. I'm going to make it more of he has these like specks in him of this like lighter brown, kind of reddish brown. I'm going to paint the whole thing that color. Also, I made this spike hand a long time ago. Right when this guy came out, I made this, and I just never painted it. So I'm going to paint that as well. So my first step in changing this guy up is I'm going to Dremel down all of these spikes. I'm going to get rid of all the spikes on him and the skulls and try to fill those in. So yeah, we're going to work on that. Okay, let's start dremeling. So this dremeling process is kind of tedious. I'm just using the regular sand bit here, and I'm just going to go through, and anywhere I see spikes or skulls or anything like that, I'm just going to knock those down with this. A bunch of areas had holes after I got done with this, and I'll talk about that more later. But you can see, like, up here is a big one, and there's another one. It popped a bunch of holes because his body's super thin. The rest of this dremeling, though, the arms and the legs, I didn't really have that issue, just this upper body. Okay, after dremeling, left some pretty big holes in the upper body. So I'm going to use some as epoxy sculpt. It's a 2-part mixture, and see if I can fill in those holes. And I'll show you what I got after that. Okay, I have him completely taken apart. After I did all my dremeling, there was a bunch of holes in this upper piece. And so to make sure those got filled in and stayed filled in, I took it apart and put duct tape under here and then put the epoxy sculpt on there. And then after it dried, I went and took that duct tape off and actually hot glued off the spots I filled in, just so I know those aren't going to move around in the future. But they're all dry now, and I sanded them all down. I took them apart to make it a little bit easier, so I'll show you how everything attaches. There's this giant peg system that connects to that bald peg right there. And then on top of this is this piece. If you see in there, it just kind of hooks on there. On the bottom part of this is this diaper piece. Slides over, and you can see in there where it goes. And then the legs just connect like regular Multiverse legs with that peg system. And then the arms just pop into there like that. So he wasn't too hard to take apart. I just had to heat him up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to paint him this brown color. I don't know if this will be perfect. We're going to see. We're probably end up doing a wash over that, but I'm going to try this and see what it looks like. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and have a few coats of this brown paint on here. I'm mixing in a lot of water here, just so it's not as thick, so I can apply it in thinner coats. We're just covering everything. This took like an hour each coat. We're just putting one coat on and then letting that dry and put on another coat. Basic painting. Maybe you should prime this first. I didn't prime it, but this upper body doesn't really have a whole lot of areas for the paint to chip off. So this one I think is fine. But if you want to save on paint, I would definitely prime. This dark brown was super painful to try to cover. I think I ended up using 3 or 4 coats on each part. The knees and the arms too don't really bend, so that's helpful with the paint not chipping because it doesn't have anything to rub against it to chip. Okay, here's where we're at now. I put them back together, and it went together pretty well, except for some of these rubbery spots. The paint started chipping. So I'm just going to repaint some of those spots. Took about 3 coats of paint to get this guy a consistent color. Really should have primed it first, but I wasn't feeling like doing that. Some of these spots that I filled in with the putty is kind of pretty noticeable. So what I'm going to do is fill them in with this UV resin mixed with some baby powder. Just really any baby powder. And this was like almost like a 4-to-1 mixture of baby powder. 4 parts baby powder to 1 part resin. But you just keep mixing baby powder until you like how it looks. I did a little test piece to make sure it would cure correctly, and that piece is rock hard. So I think it'll work out pretty well. So all I'm going to do is fill in those little holes with this, and then repaint that and touch up paint the rest, and then clear coat that, and we'll go with a brown wash. Okay, here's where we're at right now. As you can see, I had everything covered pretty well. What we're going to do now is mix a little bit of this brown paint with some water. I'm going to give him a full wash with that. Okay, so I've got a consistency. I mean, I didn't add too much paint. It's still pretty watery. So we're just going to take this, brush on it. Now, the longer you let this sit, the darker it's going to come out. So you want it to be pretty light. Just let it sit for a second, wipe it down if you want it to really darken him up. You're going to let it sit for a while. Alright, as you can see, I got it really covered. And so now I'm trying to take some paper towels and trying to clean them. And that's going to leave all of that brown and the gaps and the folds and everything. Alright, here's where we're at now. The brown wash, you can see really stuck in some of those crevices. So I'm pretty good with how that turned out. It kind of mixes a blend of the animated color scheme with like all the detail here. You can see the face I couldn't get off. But all the places I put that resin to, I feel like that helped it give it a little bit more texture, so it doesn't look just so flat. With the head, I painted this yesterday. Let's see if it comes off. I was kind of fighting with myself if I wanted to make the eyes super saturated or not. And I decided to kind of go with like a mix of yellow and white till I got something that was pretty good. The teeth I painted white, and then went back over those with like a yellowish white, and then went back over that with like a brown wash on the bottom, and then went over that again with yellow. Just kind of switching between the white, the yellowish white, and the brown. And then the mouth is just like a brownish red. I took that base color I used and mixed in a little brown. I went around the eyes just to kind of give it some depth. With the wash, if you're not happy with how it is somewhere, make sure you clear coat this first before you do the wash. And then after you do the wash, let it dry. And you can go over that with some isopropyl alcohol and kind of wipe away, because it pulled up really bad down here. And so I'll just wipe that all away, and you can see now it's a lot better looking. It was all pulled up down here and around the head, around the back of the neck and stuff. It pulled up pretty bad. This is after a clear coat again too. So I painted it, clear coated it, washed it, clear coated it. So I used this whole bottle of paint just to paint this guy. There's a little bit left. I'm going to go over the teeth and the mouth with this gloss top coat to get a little bit shiny. And then I'm going to go over the eyes with this UV resin just to give it some depth, make it look like an actual eye. All right. We're at the finale. Here's what he looks like in the end. You can see where the brown wash really stuck in there, and we're really happy with that. Let's get a closer look at the head. The eyes, you can see that resin really helped them pop, and they're shiny. They look like eyeballs. The mouth and the teeth, the gloss coat adds just a little bit of shine to it to make it look more natural. I'm really happy how that turned out. I feel like I didn't really like the eyes before, but after that UV coat, it really helps them look more realistic. The wash stuck in all the places I wanted. My only issues with this guy currently, I kind of wish I would have primed it, but at the same time, I don't think the primer would have helped. Where it's like, you can see some spots where it articulates, especially down here. The paint's chipping away already. I think once it dries a little bit longer, though, it'll be a little bit stronger. But I don't think the primer would have helped that. I think I should have probably dremeled around so the arm had plenty of room to move. The diaper piece, still chipping, especially where this torso rubs against there. Luckily, though, without using the primer, all that's underneath it is brown. So, if it rubs, it's just going to show the brown. So, I guess that's an advantage to not using primer. But overall, I'm really happy with this guy. I think he looks way better than he originally did. So if you like it, go ahead and leave a like and tell me what you think in the comments below. Hopefully this helps y'all where you can try it out if you hate that Clayface as much as I did. He looks more like a cartoon Clayface, less like a Doodoo-man. So I'm overall happy he's looking on the shelf. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and follow me on Instagram if you want to see more pictures and keep up with what I'm working on. And I have more customs over there. Thanks.